let's be honest. When you're looking at a real estate investment, the agreement can feel like it's written in a totally different language, right? Well, today we are going to decode that. We're going to crack open that dense, confusing language so you can actually understand what's going on. If you've ever felt like you needed a law degree just to figure out a deal, this one's for you. Okay, so before we really jump in, we've got to cover a couple of really important things. First off, all the information we're digging into today, it's based on sources from back in 2020. And, things can change, rules and regulations, they definitely shift over time. Also, and this is crucial, please remember, this is all for informational purposes. It is absolutely not investment, legal, or financial advice. You've got to consult with your own pros and do your own homework before acting on anything you hear. So get this. Did you know that one single word in an investment agreement could completely change your financial outcome? I mean, it sounds kind of crazy, doesn't it? The difference between two simple prepositions, just a couple of letters, having a massive impact? But it is absolutely true. And not understanding this stuff isn't just confusing, it can be incredibly expensive. And that really gets us to the heart of the matter, the fine print. Look, we all love to focus on the exciting numbers, right? The big projected returns, the cash flow. But the legal language that's holding all those numbers up, that's where the real mechanics of the deal are. That's where your protections as an investor are either built or, completely left out. Okay, so let's get right into the big one. The whole thing we're talking about today really boils down to two tiny, tiny words, on and of. Specifically, we're talking about whether the money you get back, your distributions, is considered a return of your capital or a return on your capital. I promise you, this is a concept that can change everything. So let's just put these side by side to see the difference at a super high level. On the one hand, you've got return of capital. What does that mean? It means every single dollar you get back actually lowers your original investment balance. Then you've got return on capital, where those distributions are basically treated like profit and your original investment balance doesn't change at all. Let's break down exactly what that means in the real world. First up, return of capital. Think of it like this. When a deal is structured this way, any money that comes back to you, whether it's from day-to-day cash flow or a big event like a refinance, it's treated as if the deal sponsor is just, handing you your own money back, little by little. It literally chips away at the amount you first put in. Okay, let's walk through an example. Super simple numbers, just to make it really stick. Let's say you invest $100,000 into a deal. In that first year, things go well, the property's making money, and you get a $10,000 distribution. So what happens to your investment? Well, here's the result under a return of capital structure. That 10 grand you just got, it has now reduced your capital account. So in the eyes of the deal, you only have $90,000 left in it. You've basically been paid back part of your initial loan to the project. All right, now let's flip the coin and look at return on capital. With this structure, any distribution you get is treated as pure profit. It's like interest you've earned on top of your investment. It has zero effect on your original capital account balance. Okay, let's run the exact same play again to see just how different this is. You invest that same $100,000, the property performs well, and you get that same $10,000 distribution check. So what happens to your capital account this time around? And here's the magic. Your capital account balance? It's still $100,000. That $10,000 check is considered a true return, actual profit on your money, while your entire original investment is still in the deal, still working for you. You can see how this makes a massive difference over the life of an investment, right? Okay, so now that we get how this choice affects your money, let's switch gears a little and talk about the sponsor, the person running the deal, because how your capital is treated directly impacts when they get paid their bonus, which is often called the promote. And trust me, the order of operations here is everything. This is a term you absolutely want to look for in any agreement. Subordinate promote. Subordinate is just a fancy way of saying that the sponsor's interests are placed behind your interests as an investor. With this structure, the sponsor does not get their big performance bonus until every single investor has gotten all of their remaining capital back first. It's a huge, huge protection for you. People call this the payout waterfall, and it's a perfect name for it. Because when that big payday comes from selling the property, the money flows down in a very specific order. First, the water fills up the investor's bucket. All your capital gets returned. Then, and only then, does the leftover profit flow down to the sponsor for their bonus. It keeps everybody's interests perfectly aligned. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here, some pretty technical stuff, but what does it all mean for you? How do you actually use this information? Well, we've boiled it all down into a super simple checklist that you can use to analyze any deal that comes your way. So before you even think about signing anything, you need to get straight, unambiguous answers to these three questions. First, are my distributions a return of or a return on my capital? Second, is your sponsor promote subordinate to the full return of my capital? And third, and honestly, this is the most important one, have I had my own lawyer and my own financial advisor review this agreement? Look, getting a handle on the language of these deals, that's the first step to becoming a much smarter investor. The fine print is no longer this scary, intimidating mystery. It's just a set of questions that you now know exactly how to ask. The power is really in your hands now to dig deeper, to protect your capital, and to truly, truly understand how your money is working for you.